Hey guys, Ranger here, and welcome back to another video. And this actually is, and hopefully an interesting video. I hope. Now, I've had some people tell me that there was another Mickey Mouse cartoon that came out not long after Carnival, and this one is Year of the Dog. And this is uh, Chinese or Japanese? Lunar New Year. Okay, Lunar New Year. Okay. Okay, and this is Year of the Dog, and so I'm assuming automatically this focuses on Pluto. Okay, so I'm thinking since this came out this year that means this is the Year of the Dog. So I'm just curious, when is Year of the Mouse? When is Year of the Mouse? I'm just wondering whenever that is. So let's go ahead and begin. Okay, and I love the art for this. Like, I really do. I really love the art style for this intro here with how they did this Mickey icon. That's really, really cool. Okay, let me get a little more comfortable here. Okay, starting the video in 3, 2, 1, click. Ooh, I love that. Pluto! Oh dear. Pluto doesn't have a collar. Interesting. Wait. Wow. Nice art. Steamboat Willie. Oh my gosh, that was a great homage. He looks adorable there. This is an interesting setup, like, here. That... Cute. This is a very interesting setup. Ah! Oh gosh. That sound effect. Okay, that works. Oh wow, okay. Something else is gonna happen. Okay, guess not. Wow, really? Yeah, this is an interesting setup, like, because, like, Mickey, like, Pluto is not Mickey's pet here. Ooh, I love this. Okay, then. Oswald! Okay, there was a reference there. And now Mickey feels bad. Now he feels really bad. That's a cute face. Wow, I like that table. Okay, I love this cartoon. I do. This was really, really adorable. This was really, really adorable. And very, very sweet. Now, let me try to real quick. Stop. Okay, now to go over some things with this cartoon. Going over some things with this cartoon here. This is very, very cool. I mean, to see, it's very, very, really awesome to see the characters in China. You know, to be able again to see them experiencing Chinese culture, and you know, to hear them speaking Chinese. It's very, very awesome. I love it. And again, I always love seeing these cartoons whenever the characters. I mean, I love the traditional cartoons where the characters are in like the modern or are set in their own town and they're speaking regular English. But I also really love these cartoons where the characters are in a different country and they are talking in that native language. And it's so cool to to see that and to hear that. And it's also so cool to hear these hear the voice actors, just how versatile that they're able to do that. I mean, how well that they're able to do that and sound like the characters in that language. And that is just really, really awesome. It's really, it's, it's awesomely shocking, shockingly awesome. But there was an interesting thing with this particular cartoon in that in this particular cartoon, Pluto was not Mickey's pet. Like, the two didn't even know each other. It's not too often that we get to see a setup like that. We have seen that setup a couple of times before, but it's very rare that we get to see a setup like that where Pluto is not Mickey's pet. There were some earlier cartoons, of course, where Pluto was portrayed to be maybe somebody else's pet. I think once or twice he was portrayed to be Donald's pet, and I think even Goofy's pet, and also even portrayed possibly to be Minnie's pet a time or two. But it was also interesting, or maybe she was just puppy sitting him, or dog sitting him. But again, it's very interesting to see this setup here because again, it's not often that we get to see that particular setup with Pluto not being Mickey's pet and the two having not known each other. And so that's a very interesting setup, particularly for this cartoon here. But it actually works in that regard. And again, like I said, I really love the concept. Here, Mickey just having a little dinner and inviting his friends over, and to celebrate Chinese New Year, and suddenly, things begin to disappear from the table, and turns out Mickey thinks it's some sort of dragon-like creature. Doesn't know what it is, and it turns out it's Pluto. But there's some things, and again, I really love this. I love what they did with the Chinese culture here, the setup, the art style for the backgrounds, and just for the different things that they used. I really love the attention to detail with everything that they put into this cartoon. Just some of the backgrounds are just so artistically done and just so beautiful. This particular scene here, it just kind of looks like something that you would see maybe on a postcard or an anime because of the design for the character slot. This looks like something you would see with the light shining on the street, maybe an overhead camera shot. I really love what they're doing here, and I know there is Japanese anime, of course, but again, it just really looks good, and I love how that they did that. And again, I really love this cartoon. There's a lot of, it's very cute. It's simplistic with the story. Mickey manages to get that one bowl. I forgot what he called it, but it turns out he sees Pluto, and then he feels like a complete heel for trying to keep that food from a hungry dog, which in Mickey's regard, he didn't know that it was Pluto. He sees Pluto, and then at that point, he does what any of us would do. You see a starving animal, you're going to feed it. Any person with a good heart is going to do what Mickey did. And Mickey has a good heart, and so that's why he took Pluto into his home and basically made Pluto his pet here in this particular cartoon. And, who wouldn't do that? If you were, out somewhere and you saw a cat, or a dog, you saw that they were hungry. And you really believed that they didn't have a home. If you could, you would take them home too. Who wouldn't do that? If I could keep every stray cat that I found, boy, I'd need a lot of space and a lot of cat food and kid litter. But again, Mickey did what any good-hearted person would have done. And so again, and then Mickey had Pluto join them, and it was a very cute ending. And again, I really love how that they. I mean, I love whenever they do these culture-based cartoons where they have the characters in different cultures and different countries, and it's really awesome to see that. And I love how far in detail that they go with these cartoons to really highlight and show off the detail for that country. It really does it. It really does it justice, and it just looks phenomenal. And going over some things here with this particular cartoon, like I said, the intro. I really like the intro here with particularly for this design for the Mickey icon, which is really awesome. And then we have and then we have a parade here in China, the Year of the Dog parade, and it's very cool because we actually see like a float or something that they have, and this little rabbit right here, this little pink-looking rabbit, it makes me think about the rabbits that Minnie had on her team in the Disney sports games, uh, the Charmers, because I think you could have, they weren't rabbits, I don't think, but this kind of makes me think about that. I think we have Pluto, who again, he's not wearing a collar. He's not wearing a collar. He's rummaging through trash cans. It's a basic back alley dog kind of thing, and you know he's just not. He's not anybody's pet at this point, and he finds this. He finds this very nice looking home here or place, and again, I love the art style for it. I really love the art style for this. And then we see Mickey, and we see the typical cartoon formula, you know, comedy gold where a character is able to stretch and half of them goes to one section of a room before the other half does. I mean, how could you not have a Disney cartoon and not have that somewhere? And then Mickey walks into the living room with all this food, and he's humming Steamboat Willie. Way to go, Disney. Way to go. Whoever thought about adding that joke in, major props, man. Major props. That's an awesome homage to Mickey's first cartoon. And it's just cool to see that, you know, constantly being used with that. And it's just, it's gold. It's classic. So again, I really love that little, I really love that little, I really love that little nod to Mickey's earliest beginnings. And again, there were some really cute moments of Mickey here, such as this moment whenever he's looking at this plate. And, like, it's kind of funny how Mickey's tail is holding this plate with this fish on it, or salmon. And Mickey's tail, the way it's curved, it kind of looks like, I don't know the names of them, but those things where you can actually hang on walls where they can hold shelves. It's like the way it's shaped, it kind of does look like that. And again, there was some, again, like I said, some really cute moments with Mickey here, like this little scene here. And of course, you gotta have a fourth wall break. Of course, you gotta have a fourth wall break whenever Mickey's looking at the audience. You gotta have a fourth wall break. Because why the F not? And I just now noticed the door. Like this door that Mickey has, which is ironically very similar to the opening segment. But again, Mickey has this door with this big icon on it. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. That is really awesome. You know that okay, Disney, please make a big tapestry or tapestry that you can actually hang from your wall. That would be beautiful. Like as a Year of the Dog kind of thing. Make a big tapestry that look exactly like this, just without the center line, black line going down the middle, like a throw or like a tapestry that you can hang. That would be beautiful. I totally buy it. But again, I just have this image going through my mind, like this, like a couple of images of like Mickey originally maybe had a standard door, and this was a door that Minnie surprised him with. Maybe Minnie had this door made and had it put on, or maybe this is something that she painted and surprised him with it. But again, really cute. And then Mickey opens the door to find all their friends. And interesting enough, I mean, again, we have Scrooge here. I didn't see his name in the credits. The only names that was in the credits was Chris, Rusey, Cara, Tony, and Bill. So, not sure if, I know David Tennant voices Scrooge in the DuckTales series. I know that much. But his voice wasn't here. They might not have actually made the Scrooge scream. I'll have to hear that. But again, hearing Mickey speak in Chinese, greeting everyone, thank you, and then Minnie greeting Mickey in Chinese and giving him what looks like these oranges, this basket of oranges. Again, hearing Minnie greet Mickey in Chinese, cute. Like, my gosh, that's just adorable. And again, look at the art style for this design. I mean, just look at this. Like, if I lived in China or went to China, this would be someplace I would definitely like to have. You know, like live. I'm just look at this. These beautiful trees right here with these lanterns. Very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. And another interesting thing here, I think I pointed this out before, but again, look at the size difference between Mickey and Minnie. Like, Mickey's actually a little taller than Minnie. Up here, his ears appear to be a little bit larger than hers. His eyes are a little bit taller. Minnie's is just slightly wider. Minnie's nose is a bit wider. Mickey's is a bit smaller. And then Minnie's the first one to scream. And no, I just heard, like, there's just a bunch of people screaming here at once. I don't know if you could actually hear Scrooge scream, or if Bill, Tony, or Chris actually gave Scrooge a voice here. Not sure. But there's a couple things here to notice with this quick thing. Like, whenever everybody panics, Daisy falls on the floor, tripping. Donald lands on her, stepping on her, like, kind of like, screw you, out of the way. But he does manage to grab her. He does manage to grab her hand and pull her, so after stomping on her, then he grabs her hand and yanks her away. And then, as Minnie's still screaming, Goofy and Horace slam into each other and knock each other out cold because, of course, because typical cartoon comedy. Pluto runs past Clarabelle, which causes, somehow or another, Clarabelle's udder to go just flying out because apparently that thing sags a lot. It hits Minnie, knocks her out of the frame, and then Mickey gets smacked by the udders, like, multiple times. And this face that Mickey makes at this point, I don't know if this is the face of all that's going on, or just the fact that he just got smacked by cow udders. Even with everything, if that happened to me, everything that was going on, I think I would be more shocked at the realization that I just got smacked by cow udders. Yeah, I think that would be the most shocking aspect for me. Then we have these other background characters, and we do see a few of these characters reused. We see this little cat over here, which makes you think about Hortensia. She's used twice right here, but again, that's fine. But is that Oswald? Is that Oswald? I think Oswald might be here in the audience. Maybe a bunny kid over here. Not sure. Of course, you can see this character over here again. But there was a couple of cameos that we saw, which I'll point out. That little background, that little sound effect whenever Pluto realized he's been found, that dweep sound. I mean, you hear that in cartoons a lot. It never gets old. It really doesn't. It's kind of like the Wilhelm scream. It just suits it. Then we see these other cats here in a triangle pattern, which is then trying to change to a upside down triangle. And then Mickey goes through them and makes a star. Because logic. And of course, the lanterns form a Mickey head. But honestly, this kind of looks like a jack-o'-lantern. Like, this kind of looks like a jack-o'-lantern. Oh, I get it. Congratulations, Mickey. You have just become the Great Pumpkin. It's the Great Pumpkin, Mickey Mouse. And it catches fire, so yeah. And now here at this moment with the rockets, I had a couple of images go through my head. That music that plays at this moment whenever Mickey gets on the rocket, or one of these fireworks. I thought about that scene in Mulan with Mushu, whenever Mushu is on the rocket and Mulan lights it and he goes blasting off. That's what I thought of here. I thought of Mulan at that point here. But I also couldn't help but think, and that's my wicked imagination going, Like, I could just imagine, like, that, like, somewhere Minnie is probably seeing Mickey set on this rocket and thinking to herself, can't help it, I just had the image go through my mind, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Like, Minnie's probably imagining her on the rocket, and that rocket is Mickey's rocket. And she's sitting on Mickey's rocket, waiting for it to blast off. And then boom. And again, that's probably what Minnie thinks about Mickey's rocket. But again, we see this lovely shot of this here, and again, just look at this lovely shot of the city here, and I love the visual effect with the lighting of how it is like these streaks, these bright streaks going up, because that's realistic, and I really love how that they designed that. It's really, really good. And then we see the tower, and please forgive me for because I'm not familiar with this particular building. So please tell me what that is in the comments. But Mickey carves it into an apple because cartoon logic, which is awesome. And then Oswald makes a cameo. Oswald the Lucky Soda. That's awesome. Like, that is freaking gold right there. Oswald the Lucky Soda. You know, Disney really could market that. They honestly could. I would totally buy it. I'd totally buy it. I know my best friend would as well. I can imagine us both drinking one, sitting together, drinking one of these. And I would totally keep one of the bottles. Like, I would totally keep the label on one and totally keep a bottle as is. But again, I can imagine us sitting there drinking this while watching something Disney together. Because that would be totally us. But again, this is really awesome. I love this little cameo here. And then Mickey hits the bottle, which goes flying. And then, like, it pops itself on this building, which kind of reminds me of those old-fashioned soda machines where you could get a soda from it, and then it had the little, like a tray or something on the bottom where you could actually pop the cap on it there, and then it blasts off, and then it like erupts into like a fountain. Again, I thought of Minnie and Mickey on that one, and Minnie probably thinking about Mickey's fountain. And then we see an interesting thing here. We see two characters. Here, brilliant cameos. We see who I'm thinking is the lion, the mayor from Disney's Zootopia. I can't remember his name, but this I think might be the lion from Disney's, the mayor from Disney's Zootopia. And then we have this other tiger over here. And this tiger here, this one-toothed or single-toothed tiger, has been used in. I remember him being used in a lot of quite a few Goofy cartoons and even Donald cartoons. I remember him being used in the Goofy cartoon where Goofy was in Africa and he was riding an elephant, and at the end of the cartoon, like the elephant like the tiger kept trying to eat Goofy, and then at the end of it, the elephant's butt landed on top of the tiger, and his stripes were still on the elephant's butt. And I remember the narrator at the end saying something like, "And that is how the tiger lost his stripes." And there was another one too, I think, where it was Goofy or Donald, one or the other, that tried to take a double barrel shotgun or one of the old-fashioned round, very open-ended guns and tried to shoot him. And he was picking. I remember now. He was picking like the bullets or the pellets out of his butt, and he had like a little junior son there too, that kept trying to steal. I think it was pancakes. I think it was pancakes or something. But yeah, like, brilliant cameo. You got the tiger from, I believe, from Disney's Zootopia, or sorry, the lion from Disney's Zootopia, and then you have this other tiger here that's been used in a lot of other Disney cartoons in the past. Brilliant cameo here. I love seeing that cameo. That's awesome. And then they get drenched. It's just, they're cats. And just look at how they look whenever they get drenched. like the lion is not as comical as the tiger. he looks like one of those cards that you would get at one of those cat or pet cards that you would get at Rite Aid, where they have the small bodies and the big head and the big eyes. That's what he looks like right here. But again, really nice attention to detail with the characters in the background and how they too look distraught. And again, I still say this looks like Oswald right here in the middle. It's also interesting to note that everybody's just standing there. And and again, okay, first off, everybody's just standing there, stoic, emotionless. After everything just happened, they're just standing there like nothing has happened. But I'm not like making fun of that, because I mean, like, in that sense, because like obviously animating all these characters to be moving, yeah, it would be a lot. It'd take a lot more time to animate all these characters moving individually. And so yeah, it does work and save time to just have them be stoic and just be standing there. It really does work that way, and I can't blame them for doing that. You know, I really can't blame them for doing that. And again, this is a cute image of Mickey here. Just look at his face. Is this the face of mercy? My voice kind of cracked there for some reason. But again, look at this face. And then this face. And then this face. Sorry, I can imagine Minnie likes this face. And then we see this lovely little shot where the characters are sitting around the table here. And getting ready to indulge. And again, just look at Mickey. That's cute. And look at Minnie. That's cute. And they all have chopsticks, ready to eat. And you know, I never could use chopsticks. I don't know. Some people can use it, but I don't know. I'm not good with chopsticks. And I think it's cute. Like, Mickey sets it down at Minnie's side first. Like, obviously, he's letting his best girl go first. You know, duh. But he sets it down at the table, letting like Minnie go first. And then I really like this little round table here. We have the Knights of the Round Table. We have the mix of the round table here. But again, this table here with this big turnstile or turntable on it, that is nice. That is really nice. And to be honest, though, I've never really seen any of those in real life around me. Like, nobody that I know has a table like this. I know they are used even here in the U.S., but I don't like, even the furniture shops near me. I don't know if they have anything like this. Apparently, it's just not that common. But it's still a really nice touch, and I really like it. It's also cute here how that Mickey and Pluto, like how Mickey offers this, I want to say a boiled egg, I'm not sure, or this dumpling to Pluto. Pluto noses it over to Mickey. So then Mickey decides, let's share. And I can only imagine Minnie here might be a bit jealous, possibly. But I'm thinking, I can't help it. Again, I have a wicked imagination. I'm thinking of Bella Notte from Lady and the Tramp here. I'm just thinking of that. But again, it's cute. Very, very cute. And then we see this nice little scene here. And then it pans up to show this lovely little scene of the city with the fireworks. Very, very nice. And again, very, very cute. Again, this is a really cute cartoon. I really love it. It's adorable. It's sweet. It's fun. And again, it's a very interesting concept because, like I said, we don't normally see Pluto be just Mickey's pet. Not be Mickey's pet, and him being introduced into that. There was a storybook. I have it actually. It was a storybook where it gave like this little thing where it showed how Mickey got Pluto. But in that particular story, it was illustrated and wrote so that whenever Mickey got Pluto, Pluto was still a pup. And here, Pluto was like his normal, full-grown self. So, you know, it really just depends. Like, there's no real canon official story not that I'm aware of. It's just really up to the writer's interpretation. Like how that they want to tell the story. And so it's not really it's not really canon, or rather, it's not. There hasn't been like an official concept that I know of how Pluto came to be Mickey's pet. It just what is. And I think that's good that nothing officially has been done. So therefore, it's easy for people, for other writers, like the one that wrote this here, like the writer or writers that wrote this cartoon, to be able to interpret their own way of how Pluto was introduced into Mickey's life, how Pluto came to be Mickey's pet. So again, that particular story really worked with this one, and again, it was very cool. It was very interesting how that they intertwined the story of how Pluto came to be Mickey's pet with a cartoon based around the lunar Chinese New Year, Year of the Dog, and they were able to focus it in China. That's really cool of how they were able to intertwine all of that together to make this, and it worked. It really worked, and so I really give them credit for that. Like, instead of just doing a basic cartoon where Mickey and Pluto meet, they were able to base it and set it around Year of the Dog in China. They were able to set it around that and base it around this celebration and have that work, and it worked out great. And so I really give them props for doing it that way. And again, it really worked, and so I really give them props to that. And again, the art style for the backgrounds is just wonderful. It's beautiful, it's rustic, it's charming, it's artistic, it's like a watercolor effect sometimes, and I love it. It really, like right here, this particular scene, it does look like a watercolor kind of effect, like a water stroke painting or something, and I love it. It really has a nice, beautiful painting-like style, and it really does look great, and like a home interior kind of deal. Some people probably won't know that name, Home Interior, but I know some people do. But again, really love this cartoon. I love the art style, I love the backgrounds. The references with the Mayor of Zootopia, that other tiger, and even Oswald making a cameo was also awesome. Very well done. I love hearing Mickey Minnie speak in Chinese. Very cute. And again, very cute, very sweet story as well with Mickey and Pluto. And there was a lot of Mickey cuteness in this too. There was a lot of zaniness as well. And again, there might not have been any direct references to Mulan, but the rocket moment did still make me think of Mulan, like Mulan and Mushu. It still made me think about that. But again, I really do love this cartoon. It's very cute, very fun, and again, it's just great. It's just a really great cartoon. So again, to Disney, to everybody that worked on this cartoon, writers, and writers, animators, voice actors, everybody that worked on this cartoon, thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. This is a wonderful cartoon. Absolutely love it. And thank you guys. Thank you to everybody who keeps, for all your work and effort, and for keep cranking these cartoons out. And they're really fantastic. So again, thank you all so much. And again, also thank you to everybody that kept telling me, yo, this cartoon's out, check it out, dude. Get your button gear, check out this cartoon. Thank you all again for telling me about this cartoon. And so I hope you guys enjoyed. And again, thank you guys again for joining me. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video that I do. Take care.